Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to this page, please introduce yourselves. I would like to know you and I'd like to meet you. Where in the world are you tuning in from? And to all my returning subscribers, thank you. I see every single one of you and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you real good. And if you're seeing this the very first time, before I introduce myself, please introduce yourselves in the comments. What is your name and where are you watching from? So guys, my name is Miriam. I'm based in California. I'm a wife, a mom, a student, an entrepreneur. I'm also a fashion designer. And yes, on this channel, I drop 3 videos every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And you can also catch me live, like I'm live right now on YouTube every Sundays, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Today, we're discussing how to 5 steps to improving your self-confidence, or 5 steps to boosting your self-confidence. So come with me, guys. Let's go and explore. So yes, for so many of us, I'm going to start today's episode by discussing what actually led low self-esteem, or lack of self-confidence. We have to start from there. What are those things that led to it before we can now tackle how to actually overcome the problem of lack of self-confidence? So first one, I would say for many of us, that started from somewhere before we got to where we are today. A lot of times our childhood experiences, negative childhood experiences, can actually lead to low self-esteem, where you face criticisms all the time, when you suffer neglect, when there's lack of support, parents, or when you develop a sense of worthlessness, and of course insecurity. You grow up, people tell you, while growing up, that you're just stupid. You don't say good things, like nothing good comes out of your mouth. People just say the wrong things. Telling the wrong things at this time of your life is like sowing a bad seed, a negative seed, a seed of negativity, and it generates into lack of self-confidence when you grow up. So this is the reason why I decided to bring it up today. So in case you grow up in an environment where you've looked at yourself for way too long, thinking that you're stupid and nothing good can come out of you, and you grew up with your head bowed down and you just cannot stand up for yourself. Today I'm going to be tackling how to overcome these things. So like I said, it could stem from your childhood experiences, trauma, neglect, even abuse from parents, or even your loved ones, or your caregivers, your supposed caregivers. And it can even stem from mental health conditions, as well as life events. So I'm going to be sharing a lot, how we can overcome the problem of lack of self-confidence. So let's also talk about bullying and social isolation. Some people actually face bullying when they were little. I faced bullying. I was bullied when I was little, and when you're bullied, maybe you're struggling to fit in school, it can negatively impacts your self-esteem and your self-confidence. Yes, abuse can also make an impact, can also lead to lack of self-confidence for you. It could be physical abuse, it could be emotional abuse, it could be mental abuse, it could be sexual abuse, and it creates lasting effects on a person's self-worth. You start to see yourself differently. You start to see yourself like you're not worth anything, or that you're not good enough, or you're not good for anything. Today I'm going to discuss how to overcome, how to actually build your self-confidence. So please, if you're new here, do not forget to introduce yourselves in the comments, and do well to also share with your friends. Like I said, I go live every 1 p.m. Pacific time. So you can also make it a date to join me every Sunday. Let's come and talk. Let's rub minds together. Let's learn from one another. On my channel, I always say this, I'm open to learning. It's not just my channel. It is your channel. It is our channel. And sometimes, lack of self-confidence, confidence comes as a form of a problem with our mental health. It could be as a result of anxiety or depression. There are some people who suffered a particular problem growing up way too long that they find it difficult to detach themselves from that from that trauma. Yeah, Nikki, are you serious? Nikki, I need to follow you. Yes, I went to Anglican as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Nikki, just send me a DM so that I can add you right back and we can talk. So sometimes some of us, we go through anxiety and depression. And like I also said, some people have a very tough childhood, and the only thing they can, and some people even today, it kind of like they exhibit that character, in themselves, even as adults. Some people grew up in very tough financial, situations where there was lack of anything, and then when they grew up, they found it difficult to understand or to believe or to see themselves, coming out of that poverty. So people still behave as though they're still in poverty. You find out that they struggle to spend money, they struggle to do things. And I always say something. I always say there's some people who have so much money, but they're not used to spending. They can't spend it. They just prefer to see the money in their bank accounts, or they just want to worship the money. I always say something. But I and my husband, we say the money is spending them. Yes, the money starts to spend them, because sometimes they grew up in serious trauma and they are unable to come out of the fact that they are no longer struggling in life. They find it very difficult. It's okay. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much for joining. It's okay to save. It's okay to, plan to invest, but living in penury, I kid you not. And I know what I'm saying. I've met people who yes, they don't leave that poverty mentality, just follows them like a glue. It just gums along with them. They find it difficult, they find it almost impossible to get themselves out. To understand that they are no longer in this tax bracket, they are no longer struggling, they're no longer, suffering in life. They still want to suffer. It has become an integral part of their life. And today I'm going to be discussing how we can actually come out of this. Now, sometimes chronic stress can also lead to low self-esteem. Yes, it can be prolonged illness. Sometimes, honestly, I've been sick before, I've been ill before, and I know what I'm saying. Some people have gone through it for way too long that they can't seem to wrap their heads around it. And for some people, life events and circumstances that has led to low self-esteem for them. Some people, maybe divorce or loss of a loved ones, or even financial problems, or unemployment. It can significantly, for some people, it can significantly impact their self-esteem, and it can lead to a sense of feeling really overwhelmed. I remember one time that people were laid off. I used to work in the bank, and of course, I don't know if I'm not sure it's the same tradition because the bank has been acquired by another bank right now. At the time, on the 1st of April, there is, they sack people on the 1st of April. Yes, on the 1st of, so when you get to work on the 1st of April, you check if you can log in. If you can't sign in, if you can't log in, that's it. You're gone. So I remember one guy at the time, he was laid off and he couldn't go home. He couldn't go home to his family. He wasn't expecting it. And then he went to a mall and he just sat down there and he was there till like late in the night. Like, some people, loss of jobs can damage their self-esteem. So today we're going to discuss, how to actually come out of how to build our self-confidence. So for some people, for all of us, we treat life issues differently. We treat them differently, and maybe I should start, tackling them when I mention those problems. Maybe I should start tackling, because I don't want to, miss them. So for people who maybe you have a job, do not tie your happiness to that job. Do not tie your self-worth to having that job. It's normal. Maybe when you're first starting in life, you're young, you're a graduate, you got this job in this tech company or this high profile company. In the beginning, you might feel, you may tie your self-worth into the job, like, oh my god, I can't believe I work in this place. Oh, I'm now a big girl, I'm a big boy, and all that. Remember, one day, you're not the owner of the company. You might never rise to become the CEO of the company. Let's be realistic. So you have to start to detach your self-worth from that, owning or becoming, from being a part of that company. You have to detach your self-worth from it, such that with or without a job, without working in that company, you're still a whole human being. You're still a complete human being. But for a lot of people, the moment they come out of that job, they are worthless to themselves. They feel that they are worthless. So you have to, start preparing for the worst that can happen. And that's something I started doing, because I worked in a very toxic environment before I got my banking job, before I worked in the bank. And I started to realize that, okay, if I can move from this point to a higher point, I can always move even from here to a higher place, which means my life, my self-worth is not tied to this bank where I work, so you have to start detaching yourself. And that was when I started my side hustle. I mean, I've had a side hustle before the first job, but of course the challenges and the demands of that job require that I stop the side hustle, and I continued when I was in the bank. And somehow, I mean, I think I've shared it on this channel before, that I made my salary in one day, from my side hustle when I worked in the bank. And I'm like, girl, your life is not tied here. Like, you can do a whole lot more. But for a lot of people, once you take that job out of them, they are worthless to themselves. They feel that they don't mean anything. Like, their sense of their esteem is down to level zero, to ground zero. So you have to mentally remove yourself from anything except God. I would say that you should tie everything that you are, all your being, your achievements, to God. You owe it to God. And for me, I always draw from God's glory. I'm like, yes, I'm the heir to God's kingdom. So I will never lack. I will never suffer. You have to start telling yourself those things, those positive words of affirmation. If you have to say it every day, please go ahead and say it every single day, because honestly, you cannot continue to live life in a way that when something goes wrong in your life, you're literally a dead person. Like, you don't exist anymore to yourself. So you have to come out of that mentality of tying your self-worth to maybe a company where you work, or to a gathering, or to anything apart from God. So you have to constantly remove yourself, constantly imagine life without working in that place. Always, I'm just giving an example because a lot of people tie their their self-esteem to where they work, their sense of their self-confidence to where they work, or to, it's quite interesting. But with time, as time goes on, you will realize that, oh, I thought it was the all in all, whereas God has a better plan for me. So, and remember that the wealthiest people in the world don't work where you work. you know, or they are not employees, then you're able to think outside the box. You're able to find your sense of self-worth, not in your business, not in your job, not in your kids, not even in your family, but you find it in Christ. If you're a Christian, you find it in God, you find it in his words, in his promises. And when you remind yourself of those positive things, God's promises every single day, then you see nothing can shake you. You remember that even when, like grass. There's this thing I always, right from I always say that no matter the economy of the jungle, a lion can never eat grass. It is not pride, it is what it is. Right? It is who it is, or it is who he is. Right? So you have to, not tie your sense of self-worth to where you work, or to anything at all except God. So if you're someone that has always, thought that your life is over, once this thing is out of it, or once they lay you off, your life is not over. Just and like that in social isolation, elementary school, they were classmates. And of course, kids can be very unnice. Kids can be very brutal, with their tongue, when they say things that, hurt you. And sometimes, because of where some people are coming from, the home is even very toxic, and then coming to school and then getting bullied. Some people's self-esteem is battered. Some people, in fact, there are people who were able to, get back snatch back their self-confidence later in life through the help of God, because honestly, it takes the grace of God to come out of it, to snap out of it, to stop believing the lies of the devil, those things, those negative things that they've poured into you since you were small. There's this lady that said, I mean, she shared her story on social media about how her teacher, back in school, and some of her colleagues, they anytime she opens her mouth to speak, they tell her she's stupid. She doesn't make sense. She has never made sense before. She's a talkative. She talks too much. Guess what? Today she's a content creator and she makes she makes millions of dollars due to from this talking that she was bullied about when she was growing up. This same talking, they keep telling her, oh, you are stupid, you just don't make any sense, you just say nonsense, you just say anything that comes up. No one to encourage her, but somehow later in life, she probably met the right set of people who were able to, harness her gifts and encourage her to continue with what she's doing. And now she's a multi-millionaire as a content creator. She's a content, she talks for a living, right? At her time, at her own time, she works whenever she wants to work. So for some people that grew up with bullying, you have to you have to tell yourself, you have to use words of affirmation and tell yourself, stop believing those lies. Those were lies from a pit of hell. You need to tell yourself, no, this is not me. I know who I am in Christ, and then prophesy all the positive things that God has in store for you. Do not believe those things. I mean, there were times, I remember when I was even in the university, there was this, friend of mine at the time, I was learning how to apply makeup at the time. And then one day she wanted to apply my lipstick and she said, you have the ugliest lips. Anytime I remember, I laugh. I laugh because honestly, she's just projecting. She's just projecting. There are people who know that you have beautiful, features, beautiful physical features. Thank you, Mountain of Inspiration. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like this video and do well to share if you can. I see her projecting. There are people who don't want you to be above them. There are some people who don't want you to, to do better than them. And they do everything to pull you down. Your job is to identify those people and stay away from them and know when to, how to differentiate them. The ones that are for you and the ones that are not for you. So if you grew up where, people bullied you growing up and people did all sorts of things to damage your mental health or to battle with your self-esteem, guess what? You have to, yes, people project all the time, Sarah. You have to get to a point where you tell yourself, stop believing those lies. They are BS. Start to believe the truth that you are awesome. You are smart. You're intelligent. You're beautiful. You have the best features ever. So you have to start, replace those negative words with positive words of affirmation. All the negative things that you've heard ever since you were little, you need to start, rebuking them. Start rebuking them and start saying positive things to yourself. I am beautiful. I am gorgeous. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I am smart. I can do this. I can do whatever I set my mind to. I can lose this weight. I can become whatever size I want to get. You can say you can use words of affirmation, positive words of affirmation. They go a really long way. There's a way you say something constantly, consistently, that you start to believe it. And that's why you have to be very mindful with the things that you allow in your space. So you say those things until you start to believe them. You say those things until you start to believe them, yourself. So the more you say negative things to yourself, the more you listen to those negative people, it continues to ring a bell in your head. You believe them. So don't give them that, that chance to live in your head rent-free. Don't give anybody the opportunity to live in your head rent-free. So go ahead and do what? Replace those negative talks with positive words of affirmation. So for those of you that have been bullied growing up, for those of you that had to endure shame, hatred and stuff like that growing up, guess what? You are in good, you are in good hands right now. You can actually change everything that people have said to you growing up. You can change it into a positive one. So yes, for people who actually went through, chronic stress, chronic illnesses, I've been ill. I mentioned it earlier. I've been ill before. It's such a very terrible place to be, because I remember having typhoid fever twice. twice when I was in JSS1, twice. In fact, there was a time I lost my sight completely. Like I remember, and I hate to be bedridden. I hate to be in a place where I can't I can't function. Like I just had to be in bed all day. I just had to. So that particular day, I was like, I couldn't go to the host because I was in a boarding house in my first year in high school. And I was like, today I just have to get up because I've been lying down like all day, all week. I'm like, no, I just have to get up. The moment and everybody else had gone to class, and then I got up and then I just went black. I didn't see again. It was black. I'm telling you, and I laid down again. So sometimes these going through illnesses, chronic illnesses, can actually almost make you lose yourself or think that it will always be like this. No, it will not always be like that. It will not. It's just a phase, and that too shall pass. So sometimes it can lead to for some people that maybe went through maybe they are sicklers or something, and sometimes it affects their self-esteem as well. So you need to use words of affirmation and tell yourself, no, this doesn't define me, this is not me, and then talk your way out of this. Just remember that the things that you say consistently and you hear consistent, you start to believe them. So you have to be very careful with the people that you even surround yourself around. Be very careful. Now, social media can also battle with your self-esteem. Comparisons on social media, because constant exposure to social media where people actually present a curated version of their lives. People go there, I've said it before on my channel, everybody is applying makeup and filter. I'm on makeup right now. Of course, you can see my lips. People don't come the way they are, right? Really, on social, it doesn't mean you should start comparing your life with. You have no idea what I might be going through. So regardless of what you see on social media, you need to be able to filter. Like we use filter. I tell you, we use filter all the time. So be very, very careful because it can lead to unhealthy comparisons and a feeling of inadequacy. There are some people that are doing way, way, way better than, but because you see them on social media, they are in Rolls Royce today, they are in business class tomorrow. You cannot. They may be, deeply unhappy deep within themselves, and you are there comparing yourselves, comparing your life with those people, comparing and comparing and comparing. And comparison is a thief of joy. When you keep comparing your life with other people that you don't even know, you are going to be sad. You're going to be unhappy. It's the fastest way to be unhappy in life. So just cherish the moments, trust the process, just enjoy your own growth, enjoy your journey. No need to check who is next, who is here. It doesn't matter. And some people have very negative thinking patterns, and it leads to a battle of their self-esteem. It kills their self-esteem. So people are perfectionists. Some people are perfectionists. I think 2 days ago, precisely, I was thinking of even hosting a masterclass on how to start from ground zero in anything, in business, on social media, anything, how to start. Some people just want to start from the top. And some people they just want to be perfect from day one. Some people they want to sound like broadcasters when they start their YouTube channel, when they start posting on social media from day one. No, you need to understand that practice makes perfect, and perfectionism is an illusion. It is an illusion. And when you set unrealistic, standards for yourself, it can lead to constant feeling of failure, and it can lead to lack of even self-acceptance. Just this morning, I saw an actress, a Nigerian actress that went to, she did the BBL. The pandemic, that one alone is a pandemic all around the world. People trying to buy bomb, for themselves to make, I don't know what they are planning to do. I don't know what they hope to get out of it. Enhancing their butts. Like people are buying it every day and subjecting themselves to all kinds of things, including DEATH. Some people actually lose themselves, they lose their lives on the table. It's not worth it. A lot of times, these people, I can tell you, they have compared their lives way too much with people on social media that they also feel they are incomplete if they don't. Sarah said, of course, is needed. They feel they're incomplete if they don't measure up with these people. If they don't do their butts with these people, if they don't do it, they feel incomplete. And I see fillers everywhere. I see people putting stuffs in their lips. They are injecting their lips, injecting their faces, their foreheads, everywhere. And they are looking like ghosts. It's honestly, it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. How can you boost your self-confidence? Is to tell yourself positive words of affirmation. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. No matter what you look like, no matter where you come from, your race, your color, it doesn't matter. You are beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to start altering yourself and now ending your life in the process. You need to always, give yourself positive self-talk. Remember the things that you say consistently, that you hear consistently, you start to believe them. You start to believe them. That's why you have to be very mindful with the kind of people company that you keep, the kind of people that you surround yourself with. If there are people that are always applying pressure, 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 pressure. I remember when I was working in the bank, I remember I just got married. Yeah. And then someone came to me and said, "Oh, you're getting black, you're getting dark. You're getting darker." And you know what I said to her? Just to I don't know what's the right word, English word. I remember the Yoruba word to say. The Yoruba word I was going to say is "Munilati pano oroyen." That's to just end it there. I told her, I wish I can get darker. Because she was about to introduce me into bleaching creams. And I said, I wish I can get darker. I'm not even dark enough. Honestly, I need a cream that will make me darker. And she stopped right there. Because she was going to introduce me to bleaching creams. Because she's using herself. So you have to know yourself, know who you are, appreciate yourself. Don't let people pressure you. Don't let them pressure you into debt too, because these people would remove their hands. Have you ever seen someone that owned up to say, "Oh, this person's misfortunes as a result of me"? No, or I pressure this. No, people always say, "Hey, I don't know anything about it, or she did it, she caused it to herself." So you are the one that has to use your brain and make sure that you don't let people push you into doing the wrong things that you'll regret later. Now, some people, fear of failure, perfectionism, fear of failure. They don't want to start from ground zero. They just want to be perfect. They want everything to be perfect from day one. No, Rome was not even built in a day. Even when you check all the billionaires that you have, that you know, that you've heard of today, find out how they started. Some people started from their garage. Some people started from nothing. Not everybody, was privileged to come from a very wealthy home. So you have to, take one step at a time and trust the process. Some people have anxiety that, they will fail. And because of that, they stop taking risks. They stop trying things. They continue to further limit their own experiences and their opportunities for growth. So you have to be able to, know yourself and know the difference. Know yourself, know the difference. Do not worry about failing. What if you succeed? What if you spend that time, thinking the same time that you have spent thinking that things will go wrong? Spend that same time believing that it will go right. How about that? And some people too, lack of skill or lack of experience can actually, make them lose their self-esteem. Hello, it's never too late to learn a new skill. It's never too late to go back to school. I don't know why people put a timeline on these things. It's never too late to get married. It's never too late to find love. It's never too late to, and people give up on themselves too soon. It's never too late to achieve your dreams. It's never too late. Go find out about KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think it was designed by the founder at the age of 65. 65. And now we have KFC all around the world. It's one of the biggest fast food chains in the world. And some people's, relationship issues can also affect some people. It can impact their low self-esteem. In fact, some people are married to their enemies. Some people are dating their enemies. People who publicly shame them and privately shame them. People who, complain, "Oh, you're not meeting my needs, or you're not doing this, or you're not doing that." It's not worth it. Remove yourself from that situation. It's not a do or die affair. See, anything that's attempting, not even destroying myself, no, attempting, just making the attempts. I can smell BS from afar. I remove myself completely out of. I remember a time like that. I was in school and I was going to departments with a friend of mine. And then I was walking kind of like slowly from behind at the back, and I heard, "Are you stupid? Can't you walk fast?" It was like, "Hey, wait, who is this person?" I looked behind me like, who is this person talking to? It's not me, definitely. And then I stopped there. I'm like, I'm not going again. I am not going again. Some people don't know how to, you teach people how they should treat you. You got to teach people how they should treat you. Teach them. The moment you smell abuse, that access that they got, take it away from them. They will never have access to you again. They will never. They will pray, they will fast to have access to you again. So you teach people how they should treat you. You're in a relationship with someone that is abusive to you. My question is always, how did he get to that point? How? Who? Where's the audacity? Where did they buy it from? Is it on sale or is it free? That they went to pack plenty. To who? Really? So you got to teach people how to treat you. One of the great ways to do that is by denying them access to you. They don't have access to you anymore. Once people don't have access to you, take away their power from you. They can no longer give you headache. When you take away, deny them access to you, you take away that power from them. Don't even let it go. Don't let it happen. Don't let it land. Don't even finish hearing it. They will stop. They will hang it. I'll never forget that day where somebody looked at me and said, "Are you stupid? Can't you walk fast?" I had to look behind like, no, it cannot be me. I looked behind that, okay, who is this person talking to? It can't be me. And that's how we should, see ourselves. We should count ourselves worthy. We should see ourselves as being worthy. Don't tie your self-esteem or your value to being attached to somebody. Who? No. Rather, let the person tie their own self-worth to being attached to you. Yes, you are worthy of respect. You are worthy. I tell you. And in case, you've been told so many times that, you are not this, you're not that, you're not good enough, it's high time you remove yourself from those people. They will finish you. Living or finding yourself in the midst of people who constantly put you down or who are not encouraging, who live mediocre lives, they will rub off on you. Don't forget, you are the average of those, 5 people that you spend most of your time with. Yes, if you hang around 5 billionaires, you are very likely going to be the 6th billionaire among them. You are likely going to be the 6th billionaire among them. And if you hang around 5 idiots, you're likely going to be the 6th idiot among them. So that's why association is very important. The people you associate yourself with, they can batter your self-esteem, they can kill your self-esteem, or they can help elevate your self-esteem. I mean, imagine being in the company of people like Ibukun Awoshika, people like Indra Nooyi, people like Michelle Obama, people like Oprah Winfrey. Even without saying a word, you start to feel important yourself. You start to feel like, yes, you are worth it. So my people, don't let anyone trick you into believing that you are not worthy. Don't let anyone make you feel less than who you are. I tell you, don't let anyone make you feel like you are less, or that you deserve less, or you are not deserving of grace, you're not deserving of love, you're not deserving of respect. So please, and please, you need to, start doing those things that constantly make you, believe in yourself. Things like, learning new skills, things like removing yourself from situations that don't serve you, from friends that don't serve you, from associations that don't serve you. Start removing yourself from it. Use words of affirmation, believe positive things. The nonsense that people have told you in time past, it's time for you to ditch them. Like, ditch them right now. Stop believing those nonsense that people have implanted into you, and then start to celebrate yourself. Tell yourself those sweet, see, I'm obsessed with myself. Oh, I am obsessed with myself. I look in the mirror every day. I'm like, even my friend can attest, my husband, he's like, oh, today, this one has come again. Like, I hide myself in front of the mirror. I don't need anyone to even hide me. I will hide myself. Like, I'm obsessed with myself. So if you're looking for external validation, you're on your own, and you don't get it. You are constantly in the midst of people who pull you down or tell you nonsense or degrade you. No, now you yourself, you should, be whole by yourself. You should find yourself worthy of great things. And I hope that with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse. Even the Bible says that we are made in God's image and his likeness. And once you understand that, no pressure, will get to you. So thank you all so much once again for watching till the very end. If you have any question for me, please let me know in the comments. And also, if you need me to do a reset tailored to your specification, also let me know as well. Do not forget to like this video. Do not forget to share this video, and do not forget to let me know what you think after watching. Thank you so much, guys, and God bless you. Bye for now.